All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Support, and thank you for joining us here on our live stream. Just want to say hey to everybody. If this is the first time you're watching the live stream, just make sure to say hi to us. And of course, if you're coming back and hanging out with us again, and you're a returning visitor, definitely reach out and say hi to us. We love hearing from you guys. If you guys have questions about your Zenfolio account, whether it's setting up a price list, whether it's customizing your homepage, whatever you guys have questions about, definitely make sure to get those out in the chat so I can get those answered for you live today. So today we're going to be talking about customizing your homepage if you're a landscape photographer or a fine art photographer. We're going to be talking about some best practices and things like that. So let's just go ahead and jump right into customizing your homepage. So first, let me show you what the homepage looks like right now for my Black Onyx account really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hover over my Zenfolio right here. I'm just going to click on View Website. I'm actually going to open this in a new tab just so I can click back and forth in between tabs. Alright, so we're going to click on this tab right here, and you guys can see this is what the homepage looks like right now. It's kind of got a grid. There's a lot going on, and obviously it's all these portrait style images. And what we want to do is we want to set this up for as if I was a landscape photographer. So I'm going to switch this homepage completely around, make it really nice and clean, have some nice, big, beautiful landscape images on there, and then make it obvious that I'm offering prints and things like that for sale. So these are some of the things that I would recommend doing as a landscape photographer. So let me get back to my Zenfolio dashboard here really quick. And what I'm going to do first of all is let's go ahead and open up Customize View. So I am going to hover over my Zenfolio and click on Customize Website. That's going to open this up into Customize View, where we can change the layouts, the theme, all the stuff that we want to change on our website. We can change that in Customize View. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is I'm going to start out changing my preset. Now, I want to show some really big landscape photos on the homepage. I want it to be nice and simple and clean. I want all of the focus to be on the images. So I'm personally going to start out in the presets right here. I'm just going to click Site Preset. And Cirque is a really good one right here. Cirque, however you want to pronounce it. This is a really good one right here. It's a nice clean homepage with just this big image. But let's take a look and see if maybe there's some others that we might want to use instead. So let me just click this next arrow right here. This one's not bad. I'm not a huge fan of the side navigation here, but this one's not too bad. I think I'm probably going to go with this, the Circe or the Cirque, however you want to pronounce it. This one's not too bad, but let's go ahead and try out that very first preset. So I'm going to click back right here, and we're going to apply this preset here. So let me just zoom out so you guys can see my full screen here. So we're going to come down here, click Apply. And now the one thing that you need to keep in mind when you're applying presets is that it's not just going to change your homepage. It's going to change the entire website. So all of your galleries are going to look different. All of the custom pages, the built-in pages, everything is going to look different. It's going to fall in line with this preset. So I'm going to click Continue right here. That's going to apply this preset to my website. And then we'll take a look and see what we think from this. Alright, so right away you can see we've got this big, nice landscape image here. It's got this watermark on it here, and then we've got our navigation up here, up top. So far there's been a nice big change. We're already pretty close to where I would like to be for this homepage. I do want to simplify it some, and I also want to create a special gallery just to use on my homepage. That way I can control the images that are being shown, and as well as get rid of this watermark right here. While I do recommend watermarking all the photos that you upload to your Zenfolio account, for me personally, I don't like showing the watermark on the homepage photos. I don't want this to be the first thing that people see when they come to my website. I want them to see the images and not this big watermark right here. So what I'm going to do is leave this the way it is for now. And let me just switch over to my browser only view. That way you guys can see everything that I'm doing here. And I'm just going to leave this the way it is for now. But I'm going to go back to my dashboard down here at the bottom left. All the changes that I just made are going to save. We're going to click Continue. We're going to go back to the dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and create that special gallery for just my homepage. So what I'm going to do is go to Photos, and I'm just going to go to Website Assets right here, and I'm just going to create a new gallery in here. New gallery. I'm going to call this Homepage Gallery. Hit Enter. And then before I start adding photos to this gallery, the first thing I want to do is I want to set this up to make sure that the photos that are in here are protected. So there's the homepage gallery right there. Let's go over to Gallery Access and let's make sure that everything is set up the way that we want. We definitely want the gallery to be public. We want these photos on our homepage, so they need to be easy for people to see. So we're going to leave that public. Next, let's go to downloading, and let's just make sure that downloading is turned off. And then photo protection, since these are going to be on the home page, I want these to be the largest display image size. So I'm going to set those to be 1550 by 960 right here. And then in the search and metadata, I want to make sure that this is allowed to be publicly searchable. And then you can leave these options here if you want, or you can uncheck them. That really is just depends on what you want to do there. Now that we've got those gallery options set up the way that I want them to be, let's add some content into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to this portfolio gallery right here, or portfolio group. I'm going to click on this landscape portfolio, and then I'm going to copy these images over onto that homepage gallery. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure that I am selective with the photos that I choose to copy, because these are going to be shown on my homepage. So one, I want them to be a good representation of the work that I do. And then two, since we're using that big full screen layout, I want to make sure that I'm using landscape oriented photos. They're going to work best with that slideshow and make the homepage look a lot nicer. So what I'm going to do is just multi-select some photos. I'm going to hold Command on my keyboard because I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, it's going to be Control. And we're just going to say, select some photos here. So let's use this one, that one, and let's pick out maybe one or two more here really quick. Let's use this one and one more, this one right here. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously you can add more than that. I'm just adding 5 now just to make it quick. But since we've multi-selected photos, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use the Photo Actions menu to copy these over to that new gallery. So we're going to go Photo Actions, Copy, and then we're going to locate that homepage gallery that we created right here. And we're going to copy those over to that homepage gallery. Now, the reason I'm setting up a gallery instead of a collection is because if we were to use a collection, the images in the collection actually carry the settings over from their existing gallery. So the whole reason that we did this was because we wanted to get rid of that watermark and we wanted to be selective of the photos. Well, if we used a collection instead of a new gallery, that watermark would still be there as long as it was still on this gallery. Also, if there was a price list on the gallery or a password on the gallery, all of those settings would carry over into that collection and it wouldn't work very well for our homepage. So that's why I went and created that new gallery. All right, so now let's click on that gallery and just check it out. Make sure everything looks good. So you can see right here the little W is not showing. That means the photos aren't watermarked. There's no price list assigned to them. And then if we scroll down here, there's no watermark here on the gallery as well. So now that that's set up, what we want to do is let's decide which photo we want people to see first when they visit their website. And what we're going to do is take that and place it at the beginning of the gallery. So I'm just going to drag this one over. And let me kind of mix these up a little bit so it looks a little different here with the slideshow. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's go back into Customize View and let's apply this gallery as our background content for our website. So what I'm going to do is hover over my Zenfolio right here, click on Customize Website, and then we are going to change this content. Let me get to my browser view. We're going to change the background content. Right now, again, we're still seeing that watermark, and that's what we're wanting to get rid of. So I'm going to go background content right here. And then we're just going to change the gallery. So we are currently using a slideshow, which is probably what I would recommend if you're a landscape or fine art photographer for your homepage, is using a slideshow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Web Assets right here. And we're going to find that homepage gallery right here. I'm going to hit select. The content's going to change, and then we can set up our slideshow options. You can have a soundtrack if you want to put a soundtrack on it. There are 50 free songs that you get from Triple Scoop Music, so if you're interested in having a soundtrack, you should definitely check out those 50 free songs that are available. You can just click right here and choose any of the free songs right here that you want to use. Personally, for me, I'm going to leave the soundtrack option off. I'm not a big fan of going to somebody's website and having a soundtrack play really loud, and then I have to find it and turn it down or pause it. So I'm going to leave the soundtrack off, but it's definitely an option that you have there available to you. Next, you can change the image duration of how long it shows for. So you can make this slideshow a really subtle slideshow. The images might change every 10 seconds or whatever. For me, I feel like the images changing every 5 seconds is probably a good length of time. Now, we can change the transition here. Currently, you'll see that I don't have a transition selected. So what I want to do is I'm just going to use crossfade, because I like this nice crossfade look right like that. Now, the next option I want to do is I want to make sure that I have this loop slideshow images selected so that the slideshow keeps looping back and forth through the start all the way around, but I'm going to leave the play in random order turned off. Again, we designated a photo when we were creating the gallery. We chose a photo specifically to show up first, and so if we chose that random option, that would completely throw off that order that we established, and it would just show the photos in random order. Now, for the image position here, usually I think by default it's set to middle center, which is completely fine. Sometimes depending on the size and the aspect ratio of your images, you might notice a little bit of slight cropping. And if that's the case, you might want to try playing around with the image position here. I'm going to set this to top center. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to take the top of the image and put it at the top of the browser and center it. Now, next for the click action, we've got a couple of options here. You can make it dim the lights and bring up the photos large by themselves. You can have it set to open that photo in a gallery, or you can have it set to go to a URL. So if you had a gallery where all of the prints that you offer for sale are located, you might want to use that go to URL option and paste in that gallery where you're selling your prints into there, paste that URL in there. That way when somebody clicks on an image on your homepage, they're going to be instantly taken to your print shop page or whatever you decide to call it. And that's something that we're going to be talking about next week, is setting up your print shop and offering products for sale and things like that. For now, since I don't have that set up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this click action to none, and then we're going to click update. Now here's the first photo. Like I said, we set that one up, and then every 5 seconds it's just going to be a nice soft transition to another photo. And you'll notice how these photos are filling up the screen. They're not being stretched. They're not being cropped or anything like that. That's because we built this gallery specifically for our homepage with all landscape orientated photos. Now, one of the things you might want to do if you've got a really big monitor, you might want to turn image scaling off. That's going to be in your site settings right here, and it's going to be under general, image scaling right here. What this is going to do is image scaling is if there's a really big monitor, it's going to scale those images up to fit the monitor. But if you remember, Zenfolio offers like 9 different display image sizes that are actually used on your website. And so what that means is that instead of rendering another size larger, it's taking that largest display size and then just scaling that image. So occasionally, depending on the monitor that you're using, you might see some pixelation. And if that's the case, you can come over here and disable that, and it will use the generated sizes only and get rid of that pixelation that you might be seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. just to make sure that that's turned off. And so now, no matter what size of monitor we view this on, it's only going to use the generated images. It's never going to try to take those images and scale them up to a bigger size and possibly pixelate it and make them look bad. All right, so for the next thing here, if you want to show some social media icons and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine. What I want to do next is I want to kind of do a little bit of work on my site menu here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove, I'm going to leave the contact us up there. I'm going to remove this client access one because if I'm selling landscape photography and stuff like that, I'm probably not going to have a lot of direct client access gallery. So I don't really need that up there. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove the print pricing here. Let me just remove that. And then what I want to do is really quick, I'm going to remove the portfolio because I'm actually going to set something up a little bit different here. So I'm going to remove that portfolio because I don't really want to have a portfolio. I just want to have a place where people can come and buy my prints. So I'm going to show you really quick how to set this up on your site menu, and then next week we're going to go in depth on setting up that shop or that print selling gallery. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go back to the dashboard really quick because I just want to show you what I'm going to be linking to. So what I would do is I would actually have a group. And I'm just going to use the portfolio group, for example, this time. Let's say that this is my prints for sale group. And inside of this group right here are all of my different print type of photography that I do, different landscape. Maybe they're different national parks, maybe they're different states, whatever it is that you shoot. We'll have a print for sale group kind of like this with galleries in here with a price list on it. So I'm going to click on this landscape really quick. And it's got the 3:2 aspect ratio price list. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link to this group, but I'm not going to call it portfolio, again, because we're setting up the shop and we're going to cover more of this in detail next week. I just want to give you an example of how we're going to set it up on the homepage. Because this is something that I notice a lot, is a lot of times I'll go to landscape photographer websites or fine art photographer websites, and I'll go in and it's just not obvious that there are prints and products for sale there. And so I think making it really obvious to your visitors is going to help you with that part of that, selling more products and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a new site menu item right here. I'm just going to call this prints for sale. However you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, just something to make it obvious that you've got some prints and products for sale. And then I'm just going to link to, we'll just link to this gallery right here. Let's say it's a single gallery, and we'll just link to that. You could call it prints for sale. You could say, purchase my work. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Just something to let people know when they visit that site that if they like your work and they're interested in buying something from you, this is where they need to click, and they shouldn't have to do any looking around for that. It should be really obvious right there from the get-go. Okay, so now that we've got that done, that's pretty much what I'm going to cover for today on setting up your website for that. One of the things that I would try to stay away from is sometimes people like to put pop-ups and things like that on here, you know, for your mailing list, or maybe they want to add a welcome message for SEO and stuff like that. For your homepage, really you want to make this be about the images here. So you've got custom pages, you've got blogs that you can do to really help improve your SEO, and you can always add a site menu item for, you know, sign up for my email list or something like that. So I would really try to keep this page clean, and you really want to give people a really nice first impression when they land on your website. You don't want to overwhelm them with pop-ups and social media links and all kinds of stuff. Let them sit here and enjoy your work for a second, and then give them a few obvious choices, kind of try to guide them down a path to hopefully results in them ending up purchasing some of your prints and things like that. All right, guys. So with that being said, let me jump back to my dashboard really quick here, and let's see. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. So Cheryl is hanging out with us today. It's good to have Cheryl back with us. Let me just jump right here. So Home Phone says aloha. Cheryl says, I'm sorry I'm late. Welcome all. Robert, myself, and everybody. Yes, absolutely. Everybody in the Zenfolio family definitely wants to, say that any of you that have been affected by the hurricane or are in its path, you guys are definitely in our thoughts. For sure. Travel Guy BT thinks he's in Central Florida hoping for the best. Absolutely. I hope you guys stay safe. If there's any mandatory evacuations, please listen to what they're telling you and just be safe and make sure you guys are being smart in the middle of that storm. Definitely our thoughts go out to you guys as well. All right, let me go ahead and jump into some email questions really quick. If you guys have got questions out there and you're watching this, make sure you get them thrown in the chat so I can get to them today and get them answered live. If you're watching the recorded version of this, there's a link in the description below called Questions for Next Week, and that's where you can submit your questions that I will answer the following week on the next live stream. But let me go ahead and grab a question from an email question really quick. All right, so this email question here is from somebody named DJ. He says, I would like to know how to use the featured function. Specifically, how can I draw attention to frequent updates or featured content without parsing the site into more chunks? For instance, I would like to post an image with a caption and call it Photo of the Day to improve the SEO rankings and enrich site content. How would that work? Well, DJ, to be honest, if it were me, what I would probably do is I would probably do that via a blog post. If you want my honest opinion, if you're looking for something that's going to benefit your SEO and things like that, I would probably do that from a blog post. You could do a blog post and, just a normal blog post every day, call it Photo of the Day, just put some information in about it, post it to your blog. That's going to let people subscribe to your blog, and it's also going to be really beneficial to your SEO as well. That's my honest opinion. I think you could even do it from a gallery. So if you're here in a gallery like this, and you come down here and you want to blog about a specific photo, you can go right here, and I'm pretty sure, let's see, you can go somewhere around here. There's somewhere right here. So you can do a quick blog post right here. So again, let me show you really quick, DJ. It's real fast, real simple. Click on the photo right here. Go down to Sharing and Client Access. Click this quick, that's hard to say. Click this quick blog post button right here. And that'll let you do this quick blog post. And you can just add a caption. You can add some keywords. The blog post title, you can say Photo of the Day, September 7th, 2017. And then whatever caption information you want to put in here, you can put a caption on there. You can add keywords and stuff like that. And then you can publish it right to your blog from there. And you don't even have to go into the blog section. Now, you will want to make sure that you have your blog set up correctly. Make sure that you've got it to where people can subscribe to it. And you've got a link to it on your website. So let's just do that really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over my Zenfolio first. Go to Customize Website, and then what I'm going to do is just make sure that there's a link to my blog first on my website. So right here. And if you're going to use the blog strictly for Photo of the Day, you don't even have to title this blog. You could call it Photo of the Day. If you want to do something like that. And then you're just going to link to a built-in or custom page. And then go right here, and you're going to find the blog and link to that right there. So now you've got that blog link up on your website where people can go and click on it and see that. So now if I click on Photo of the Day, we should see that blog post that I just did with that photo. So Photo of the Day, September 7th, 2017. So it's a nice and fast, easy way for you to blog post right from the gallery, picking a photo, doing a photo of the day, and then you can let your users subscribe to your blog by turning on your RSS feed. If you go to Options, and then I believe it's on the blog sidebar, no, blog sections right here. Just make sure that that subscribe link right there is checked and turned on, and then people can subscribe to your blog via the RSS feed and get an update. And again, that blog post is going to be public. It's going to have text information. So along with being super easy to do, it's going to really be good for your SEO as well. So anyway, DJ, I hope that answers your questions and gives you a good idea of how to do that without it being too complicated and without it creating too many different sections on your website. Basically, it's all going to be contained right there in your blog. All right, let me jump back to my dashboard really quick. All right, Greg says, same time every week. Absolutely, Greg. So we do the live stream the same time every week. It's Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific or 2 p.m. Eastern time, depending on which side of the country you're in or where out on the globe you're at. But yes, the same time every week. And then actually every Wednesday, we do a new video tutorial. So last week, this week, I think the tutorial was on importing your blog into your Zenfolio account if you've used like an external blog or something like that. So there's a video tutorial that just came out yesterday on how to import that into your Zenfolio account. So new video tutorials every Wednesday, and then every Thursday we do the live stream. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to click that little Zenfolio icon somewhere down in the bottom right corner over here and subscribe to the channel so you get the notifications and all of that stuff. Okay, so let's see. Did I miss a question here? Travel Guy says, my watermark is in the middle of my picture. Can I remove it? You can remove it, Travel Guy. You can change the position of it. Let me show you how to do that really quick. So what I'm going to do is just go right here to Photos. And then let me make this a little bit bigger here so you guys can see this. All right, so let's go to Watermarks right here. And we've got this watermark right here. What you can do is just click on the watermark that you're using. Click on Properties over here. That'll actually bring up these sample photos that you can test out your watermark on and set it up in a way that you like for it to be, however you want it to be. So if it's in the middle of your photos, maybe it's really big and it's really, visual and it's really a distraction from the images, you can definitely just click on that watermark, drag it wherever you want in the photo, and you can even change the opacity here. Now, once you do that and you're kind of happy with the way it looks on this photo, I would definitely recommend clicking on these other photos here to check out how it looks. So for this one here, this portrait-orientated one, it's going to be more towards the center. This one down here, it's going to be in the center. That one's going to be on the center. So again, you just need to click on here. And like I said, if you move it, it's going to move it around. And you can just kind of check and see where it's showing up on these different photos. Once you're happy with the way it is, just click Save right here. Anyway, Travel Guy, hopefully that answers your question about the watermarks. If you have any more questions about how they work, definitely feel free to throw those questions out in the chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions about watermarks, questions about copyrights, anything that you guys have questions about. Greg says, thanks, new Zenfolio user here. Well, hey, Greg, welcome to Zenfolio. We're so glad to have you here hanging out with us and hanging out on the live stream. If you've got any questions, definitely get those in the chat. I can show you how to do all kinds of stuff in your account. And then as Cheryl was saying too, if you haven't done the setup session yet, you should definitely take advantage of that and work with some of our amazing customer success agents. That's a really great team, and I would definitely recommend taking advantage of that and setting up a session with them. All right, guys, unless you have any more questions there in the chat, what I'm going to do is hop over to another email question really quick, and then I'll come back and check on you guys in chat and see if we have any more chat questions. All right, so the next question I've got here says, I keep sending my clients links to their galleries, but it keeps trying to make them create a Zenfolio account. Why is this happening? Well, it sounds like what's happening is you might be sending them a link from the back end of your account. So let me show you really quick. If we go to my clients group right here, and let's say that on this Smith gallery right here, we have got it all uploaded. We're ready to send this out to the client. And I'm probably not going to be able to show you guys this because I don't think I can drag the window down. Maybe I can. Let me see. Let me see here. I bet I can figure it out. All right. So let's say we've got this Smith gallery here all ready to go send out to the client. And it sounds like what you're doing is coming up here to the top and copying this URL right here and sending that to the client. And what happens when you do that is that's a backend URL from Zenfolio. So it's going to think going to think that they're trying to actually access the account, and it's going to want them to either log in or create a Zenfolio account. So you definitely do not want to send that to your clients because you don't want them to be confused and frustrated. There's two really easy ways to get your clients the direct link to their gallery. The easiest way, and my favorite way, is sending a gallery invite. That's a little button right here. Once you're finished editing the photos, you've got them all uploaded. If you're anything like me, it's probably really late or either really late or really early in the morning, and we don't really want to email our clients and have them think we're some kind of weird weirdo staying up all hours of the night. But unfortunately, that's usually what happens to me. So what you can do is you can send an invite, and you can actually schedule this to be sent at a later date. So let's say this gallery is ready, but I want to email them the link to it tomorrow instead of today. I can actually schedule this to go out, and it's going to include a direct link to their gallery right here. I would just put their email in. So let's say ty@test.com. Just put their email in right here. And then, like I said, we scheduled this. We'll hit continue. And then on that date that we schedule it, it's going to send our clients an email that looks like this, with a link where they can actually click and view their their photos. So that's the easiest way and my favorite way of getting them the link. If you want to just copy the link and email it to them directly or send it to them, you can actually click down here in sharing and client access right here. Click right there, and that will give you the link to their gallery. Now, the other cool thing that you can do in sharing and client access is you can actually personalize their link. So this is the Smith gallery. So let's say maybe I want to personalize this a little bit for the Smith family. I could just write Smith right here. And now, instead of that gallery link being blackonyx.zenfolio.com/P46120860, you write Smith right here, and now their gallery link is blackonyx.com/Smith. A little easier for them to remember, nice and personal for them, and it's really easy to do that right there. And then you would just copy this, and you could email it to them however you want to do that. Now, the other thing, you do want to be careful about is sending those links through things like messenger apps and things like that. I have seen certain messenger apps that actually add a tracking code to the link, and then when people try to pull it up on their phone, actually the link doesn't work because the link was altered by some kind of tracking code. So my best recommendation there is if you're going to send them the direct link like that, I would probably just go old-fashioned and send it to them through their email. All right, let me hop back to my dashboard here really quick and check on you guys here in chat. All right, so Travel Guy says, okay, maybe it's my logo. It's in the center. Found it, removed it from page elements. So you were probably talking about what I was showing earlier when I was setting up that homepage. So if I go to customize website right here, and then on the homepage, especially for this specific preset and layout that I'm using, it's going to have a logo right here in the center like I'm seeing now. This is actually my display name right here because I don't have a logo uploaded. But in order to get that to hide or go away, you can go up to Options, set the homepage logo to hide. And if you want the logo to still show on the homepage, but just not there in the center, and you're using this layout, you can set your header to show, hide your homepage menu, and then that logo, if you've uploaded it into your header, will be up here in the top. So it'll be up here in the top instead of right here in the center of the image. And this header actually pushes the image down. It doesn't overlay the image. So it actually pushes the image down a little bit as well. So that's something you could do right there, is actually set your header to show. And if you want to upload your logo into your site header, you can do that by clicking on Site Header right over here on the left. Just click on Logo and then choose your file and upload it right here. All right, let me get back to my dashboard really quick, guys. Home Phone says, I feel bad for the iTeam at test.com. I use that at test.com email so much, I'm pretty sure that eventually somebody's going to reply to me and tell me that, really request for me to stop using that, because I feel sorry if somebody actually has that email address. it's going to be bad. Okay, yeah, so as Show was saying, yep, just as I showed you guys, if you have that particular preset, then it's going to be right there in the center, and you can move it in the header if you want to do that, rather than having it show up right there in the center of the page. All right, guys, let me jump back to an email question really quick. So the next question I've got here says, is there a way to give a specific client's gallery its own unique color and fonts, or do I have to use the gallery defaults for all galleries? So you can customize the look and feel of each individual gallery if you want to do that. What I would suggest doing is I would suggest defining a gallery default for galleries that are pretty much going to be the same. So like, let's say for instance, the majority of your business is portraiture. What I would do is I would set up my galleries focused around that. So if you shoot mostly portraiture, I would customize the look and feel of that gallery with this in mind. So making this look good for portraits. And then once you're finished with that, what I would do is click Save as Default. That way, the majority of the galleries that you upload can take on these default settings. And since you created it with this type of work in mind, it's going to work good for the majority of your galleries. However, from occasion to occasion, or occasionally you might run into a situation where you maybe you want to just give a client their own unique look or something like that. You can definitely do that and customize an individual gallery's theme. So let me show you how to do that really quick. We just switch over here. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to customize the theme. Let's say maybe for this particular client, for some reason, we want to give them a darker theme. Maybe it's a Gothic portraiture session that we did, and we want to give it a darker theme, but we don't want every gallery to have that. Well, what you can do first is you can go up here to Theme, and I'm going to load this into a new tab. And the reason that I'm going to load it into a new tab is because Theme Designer is big. Theme Designer is big, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to open. And if you're working on Theme Designer and you're jumping back to the gallery to take a look at what you've done, it takes a long time to work if you open it up, close it, open it up, close it. So if you open it up in a new tab, what you can do is you can just flip-flop back and forth through the tabs, and it's really going to save you some time. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to edit this theme right here. This is the theme that's currently on the gallery. We want to darken this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just edit the current theme that's applied to it. Now, before I actually make any changes to this theme, since this is the theme that is applied to the majority of our galleries, before I actually make any changes in Theme Designer, I'm going to actually save this and give it a custom name. That way I don't mess up the current theme that are being used on the majority of my galleries. So what I'm going to do is, instead of clicking Save, I'm going to click Save As, and Save As. Man, I'm having a hard time talking today. I'm going to click Save As, and I'm just going to give this a custom name. So I'm just going to say Dark Cert. Give it a custom name. That way it's easy to recognize. I don't ever leave that copy on there and leave it as the same name, because then when you're scrolling through your themes and you're looking for that theme that you just added or updated, it can be hard to find. But if you give it a custom name, it's easy to locate it. So I'm going to do that. Now, after I've done that, now I'm going to make the changes that I want to make. So I'm going to, first of all, let's just go here and let's change this background color to black. So let's do that. And then let's click on the galleries right here. Let's change the gallery background to be black too. So let's go here. And let's see. Let's change. Well, I think we're good for this for now. So now that we've named it a custom name, we're going to hit Save. Now we're going to flip back to that other tab right here. Command R on my keyboard to refresh this tab. And then we can look and apply that new theme that we just created. So now if I go to Themes right here, you're going to see there's that dark one that I created. I'm going to uncheck Use Default. Click on that and scroll down and hit Apply. Now the good thing about doing this is once you do this and you apply it, if you don't see the changes take place that you wanted to change, now all you have to do is go back and customize the theme and save it and then refresh. So obviously the background didn't change colors here. So let's hop back to this tab again and let's figure out why that background didn't change color. So what I'm going to do is click right here, go to background and set it to black and hit done this time. And that should set that to all black. Hit save. Now let's go back here and refresh this. So I flipped back to the other tab. Now I'm hitting Command R to refresh it. And now we should be able to see those changes that we made. So now you can see there's that gallery. It's got the black background. And then if we wanted to keep playing around with it, we could keep hopping back and forth in between the tabs. So I could come here and say, okay, well on this theme, let's give the header, let's make the header text red. Hit done, save. Leave Theme Designer open in this tab, jump back to the other tab, Command R, and we're going to be able to see that display name right here change to red. So that's how I would recommend working in Theme Designer, and you can definitely do this and give each gallery or a specific gallery their own custom look and feel. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to click the Save as Default button. We want our gallery defaults to stay the same. We're just customizing the way that this specific gallery looks. Once we're happy with it, that's when we'd go up here and click this Publish button. Alright, so let me hop back to my dashboard. For those of you guys, if you ever land on this page right here, a really nice, easy way to get back to your dashboard is just to click this Welcome button right here, and that will take you right back to your dashboard. Alright, let me check on you guys in chat here. So, Fuzzy Business says, test@test.com is my test account. Greg says, is it best to upload all of your photos first and then adjust the site from there? So I would probably not upload all of my photos first, unless you're going to do that like overnight or something, Greg. But it's definitely best to have a decent amount of content in here to work with. So you definitely want to have the photos that you might be using on your homepage, maybe the photos, at least one gallery of photos so you can customize a gallery and things like that. I definitely would not wait till all of my photos are uploaded to actually start working on my site. Now, when you get ready to upload all of your photos, Greg, what you can do is, as long as you have the Google Chrome browser, you can upload folders. And there's a benefit to uploading folders. Let's say, for instance, you have got all of your photos saved in your account. Let me just pull up let me just get a Finder window pulled up here really quick. So let's say you've got all your stuff on your computer organized in these folders. Like, for instance, right here, Portfolio, and then inside of here, I've got all these other folders that have the images that belong to that portfolio organized. If you have the Google Chrome browser, Greg, what you can do is, instead of creating the galleries one at a time here in Zenfolio, what you can do is you can actually just click on all photographs, hit upload, and then you can drag and drop those folders in. So if I take this portfolio folder right here and drag it in here, I've already got this uploaded, so I'm not actually going to go through the process of uploading it, and that's why you're seeing this. I just want to show you what it does. So now, rather than having to go through, create a group, create a gallery, upload photos, all I did was drag that folder in here, and it's created the group for me here, and then it's created each separate gallery with all of the individual images in there. So once I hit start upload and this is finished, I would end up with something that looked like this right here. Portfolio group, expand it, and then there's all of the portfolio galleries that were inside of it. So that's definitely what I would do, is I would use that folder upload to make the process a lot faster and a lot easier for you. But definitely do not wait until you have all your photos uploaded to start working on your site. You can definitely export via Lightroom. If you scroll down in the bottom of your account right here and you click on Toolkit, that's going to take you to this page right here. And then there's actually uploading tools. If you click on here, there are Lightroom plugins. Now, these are third-party plugins. So these aren't plugins that we developed. There's a third-party developer that created them, but you can definitely come in here, and here's a Lightroom plugin right here that you can try that will allow you to export and upload via Lightroom. All right, let me get back to my dashboard here really quick. Fuzzy Business says, theme designer looks so intimidating. It can be for sure at first. Once you get in there and start playing around with it, that's really the key, is just getting in there and playing around with it, finding out what does what, and opening it up in those two tabs and working back and forth is really going to make it a lot easier for you to learn your way around it. Don't be afraid to mess with it and try different things. It is a learning curve, but once you get through there and you get comfortable with it, it's definitely not that bad, and it's pretty easy to go find what you want to change and change it. All right, let me grab an email question really quick, guys. Great questions today in the chat. Thank you guys so much for your questions. This is why we do the live stream, because we want you guys to be as successful as possible in your Zenfolio account. So by all means, please keep asking questions if you have them. I'm definitely happy to help you with anything you want to know about Zenfolio today. All right, let me jump over here and grab an email question really quick. If I have an advanced account with multiple users, is there a way to do a sales report by user? All right, so for those of you guys who have advanced accounts, and if you're not sure what kind of account you have, you can find out what account level you have by going to settings, and then you need to go to account right here, and it will tell you what type of account you have. This is a demo account of mine, so it says special right here, but in most cases you'll probably see something like starter, pro, or advanced, or if you have one of the older legacy accounts, it might say something like unlimited, basic, premium, but that's your account level there. Now, for people with premium business accounts and advanced accounts, you can actually add multi-user logins in there. So if you have maybe a second shooter that you work with on a constant basis, and you want, instead of having to deal with them sending you their photos and you having to upload them, if you want to give them their own way to log into your account, but kind of keep them from accessing certain parts of the account, you can do that with a multi-user account. So again, you have to have the advanced one, and you can set that up right here. So you just go to manage user, you can create a new user and send them out an email. And they can accept that, and then they'll have their own way to log into your account. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is that while there is a way, depending on what role you assign to those users, there is a way to keep them from accessing certain parts of your account, such as selling and things like that. Any user that you send a user login to can access and see all of the photos that have been uploaded to your account. So that's very important that you guys understand that. But if you want to have multiple users, maybe you run a studio with multiple photographers, and at the end of the year, you want to be able to see a sales report based on each photographer. What you want to do is you want to structure your photos by photographer. So what I'm talking about is if you go to photos right here, I'm just going to create a new group right here. I'm going to call this photographers. And then let's say I've got 3 different photographers working for me. What I'm going to do is create a new group inside of this for each photographer. So I'm going to say new group, and let's say we got Cheryl, and then let's say we've got another photographer named Zach, who shoots some pretty amazing landscape and aviation photography. Let's put Zach on here. And then lastly, let's say we've got a photographer here named Greg. New group, Greg, right here. So now we've got, let me get myself out of the way so you guys can see this a little bit better. Now we've got this structure created in here. There's a group for photographers, and then each photographer has their own group. The way that you would be able to keep track of sales by photographer is if each photographer uploads their galleries and prices them and leaves them inside of their group. So Cheryl's going to upload all of her portrait galleries here. She would just have a new gallery, create the gallery, client 1. And all of her portrait galleries would be uploaded in here. Everything that she shot would be uploaded in here. You would apply the price list inside of her group, and you would do that for each photographer. And then at the end of the year, whenever you're trying to run a report and see which photographer sold what, you can go to Selling, Reports and Payouts right here, Sales Report, and then what you can do is go to Orders, and you can actually filter this by group. So right here it says, right now we're seeing orders for everything in the account, but I want to see just the sales that were made through Cheryl's galleries. So what I would do is go to Select, go down to Photographers, and just choose Cheryl right there and hit Select. And then any sales that went through any of her galleries are going to show up on this report, and I'll know what her commission should be and things like that. All right, let me get back to my dashboard really quick, guys. All right. Cheryl says that the Lightroom tutorial is awesome. Oh, sorry. Fuzzy Business says the Lightroom plugin is super great. That's good to hear. I know a lot of people use it, and it sounds like Cheryl's using it as well, and she says she totally agrees. I'm not a Lightroom person. Nothing against Lightroom at all. I hear it's great. I use Adobe Bridge just because that's what I learned on, and I really wish that somebody would develop a plugin for Adobe Bridge. But until they do, I'm just going to use the Zenfolio uploader, which I'm a huge fan of the folder uploader that I showed you guys earlier. For me, it really speeds things up. And I just like working inside the account. But it would be great if I could do it from Adobe Bridge. So if you are an app developer or comfortable with our API and you're looking to make a plugin, an Adobe Bridge plugin would be awesome. All right, let me grab some more email questions. And you guys, we got about 10 more minutes left. So if you've got any questions out there and you're watching this, make sure to get those in the chat before we run out of time. We're going to go till 3 today. And then also, or 3 East Coast time, or noon Pacific time. So we've only got about 10 more minutes, so make sure you guys get those questions in the chat so I can get those answered for you. All right, my next email question says, how come a few images in my collection have stars across them when my clients view? All right, so that's going to be an issue with the collections. And if you guys remember, I talked a little bit about collections earlier, but let me just show you. So there's a difference between collections and galleries. I like to tell people to think of collections as more of like desktop shortcuts. So let's say right here in this photo right here, or this gallery right here, let me find a better one. Let me go to a client's gallery. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a password on this client gallery right here. So I'm going to go gallery access, and I'm going to put a password on here really quick. I'm going to save this. Now all of the photos have a password, which works fine because when I send this gallery out to my clients, I'm going to put in the email, I'm going to let them know what the password is. But let's say that I want to throw together a portraits collection, and I want to pull images from different galleries into one space. You can absolutely do this with a collection, but there's some things that you need to be aware of. So let's create this collection first. So let's say maybe I've got an editor that's wanting me to send some of my portrait work, and I just want to throw a simple collection together for them to view. I'm going to go right here, new collection. I'll call it portraits. Hit enter. And then let's add some images to this collection. So let's start up here at the Jasmine right here. And let's say we're going to add this one, holding command, this one, and this one. And then what I'm going to do is go to Photo Actions, add to collection, and then put that on that portraiture collection, which was in my clients group right there. So now if I click on this collection, you can see those photos are in there. Now let's go to the Smith gallery really quick, and let's add those. And let's add those to that collection as well. So let's add this one right here. Holding command, we'll do this one and this one. Photo Actions, add to collection, and then I'm going to put it in that portraits collection. So now if I click on that portraits collection, where did it go? Right here. If I click on that portraits collection, you're going to notice something right away. You're going to notice that some of the photos have the password protection icon on them and some of them don't. That's because these photos are not actually physically inside of this collection. They're still in the original gallery that I copied them from, and they're still taking on the settings of that gallery that they came from. So if you pull images from a password protected gallery, maybe a gallery with a price list, and you put those into a collection, it's going to carry all of those settings with it into that collection. So if a client were to view this and they didn't know the password to see these photos, these would show up with a star across them, and then they would see these, which could be confusing. So that's why if you want to do something like that, what I would recommend is using an actual gallery and copying the photos into a gallery instead of moving them into a collection. Another question that we have a lot from time to time is people say that they want to apply a price list to an image in a collection, but they don't see the option. That's because collections, again, they pull their settings from the image's originating gallery. So for this image right here, all of its settings, including the password, the price list applied to it, are coming from the gallery that it's in. If you see over here on the right, there's not even a place that I can add a price list to it. I can't even change the access control to it. I can't change the password or anything when I'm viewing it inside of the collection. Now, if I go back to the gallery here and I click on the photo, now I can change the price list and change the access control setting because I'm in the originating gallery. So definitely some things to keep in mind when you guys are working with collections and trying to decide if you want to use a collection or if you want to just copy to a gallery. Most of the time I'm going to suggest copying to a gallery because that will allow you to control those images independently of the gallery that they came from. So you don't have to use the same settings and things like that. All right, let me grab another email question really quick. All right, so the next question says, can I give my groups their own custom icon? So you can't really change the icon here on the back end of Zenfolio, but on the visitor side of things, you can definitely give groups their own cover photo or icon or whatever you want. So if I go to all photographs right here really quick, let me just open this page really quick so you guys can see it. So now we're viewing all photographs on the visitor side of things. And by default, the folders are usually set, or the groups are usually set to have this gray box right here. That's depending on what kind of grid layout you're using by default. The older grids, I think, do actually allow you to show like a folder icon, but the newer grids are just going to show this gray box. Now, some of them might have a photo. It depends on if you've customized it. But what if you want to give them your own custom icon of some kind? Maybe you want it to be a photo. Maybe you want it to be a folder icon. Well, what you can do is you can actually upload those into a gallery. And I've got some right here actually that I've created for a video that's coming later on down the road. If I go here to cover photos, I've actually created some custom kind of cover photos that I want to use. So just an image with landscape over the top right here. And let's say I want to use this on a group instead of that gray box. Well, what I can do is just click this little thing right here and say select as cover thumbnail. And then if I assign that to, let's say, the web assets folder right here, if I assign it to that. Now, if I go back and preview the all photographs again, now when we see that web assets group, we're going to see that landscape photo on there instead. So there's that landscape photo right here. Now it's getting cropped off because of the style of grid this is, the square grid. Obviously I would change this if I was showing a group page. But if I click on this, you can see right there it says web assets. So you could get pretty creative. You could make it, you know, something like this. You could make it a, you know, a folder icon, whatever you want to do. You could get pretty creative with that and make it really unique and different. All right, guys, unfortunately, we are out of time. I want to say thank you to everybody who came and hang out with us today. Thank you for all your questions. We do this every week, so make sure that you guys come back next week and also look out for the video tutorials that we do every week as well. And like I said, if you're not subscribed, make sure to click that little orange Zenfolio icon in the bottom right corner and subscribe to our channel. Until then, everybody be safe, especially those of you who are in the path of the hurricane, and our thoughts go out to those of you who have already been in that path. I hope everyone stays safe and have a great weekend.